So if anybody out there in my circle of friends finds some cool accessories for MT-09s, that might be a pro. Now it's been really funky since this storm went through here. I have the FZR to do the fuel pump, either test, change. Luciano said he had a fuel pump. I was thinking at some point in time I'm going to get another ride. I set the bike all up and pre-flighted it. Well, none of this stuff ever came to fruition. What happened is this storm that went through here, and by the way, we are very lucky that we got down to Flemington and got the last blue bike in New Jersey. That's number one, the MT-09. So while that's sitting, they told us it's going to be maybe 3, 4, maybe even a week, because they have problems down there. They have been having power outages and trees down and this, and I think he told me that it might even be more than a week. So in the meantime, I thought I'd mention a few things that I think this stuff makes me crazy. I feel like I'm one of the luckiest people on earth, like Jimmy Doolittle. I could never be this lucky again. The reason is, as I went around the neighborhood and I helped a couple of the neighbors drag big tree branches out into the street and stuff, the day I went with Luciano and we had that storm, I said, holy mackerel, they didn't even predict this to be like Sandy, but it turned out to be really devastating to the town. Half of our town still has no power. Luciano has no power. Luckily, he's got a nice big V-twin generator, but now you got to buy gas. And all the gas stations are closed because there's no power and they don't have generators, even though they're supposed to. So we're in the middle here of a quagmire. Now, because these videos are 3 or 4 days behind, by that time, everybody should be cleaned up. I don't think Rutherford is going to be cleaned up, and I don't think we're going to be back on the open road as quick as we think we are, because a lot of my neighbors do need help. They have offered to help the kids who had this a big branch this big go right through their deck and out the other side. They're waiting for the insurance company to see if they're covered. Probably not. You know, that little Geico lizard. Oh no, you're not covered. Oh, that's something else. And farmers, oh, we've covered that. Oh, but we don't cover you. You know that's going to happen. Guaranteed. But anyway, what I thought I'd do today, because I have to go up to the gas station and fill up some gas cans. We used up all our gas, loaning it out to people for generators and stuff. And the gas stations are now open again. So I'm going to run up and get some gas. And the only thing you're going to see on this video is some of the little damages that have happened right here in Rutherford. So it might be a few days before it might be even longer than that, before we ever even get to do this, because I wanted to have a dedicated day. I wanted to make a dedicated video of diagnosing and replacing if it is the fuel pump, and if it isn't, of course, calling in the Marines or something. That's something I have never put on video. My grandson loves blue. Whenever he comes out to the garage, I ask him, which motorcycle you like the best? The blue one! And that was not really the whole motivation. I just didn't care for the flat black for sure, and the flat. Why they make bikes with flat paint, I don't know. It does not appeal to me, but here's what's happening. I'm already thinking of how I'm going to play this MT-01 thing out. And what I decided to do is, when I actually take delivery of the bike, and that may be a week from now, who knows, with the way this is playing out, what I'm probably going to do is start a whole new series of videos, because what I'm planning to do is I'm going to look on the internet tonight and see, I don't know what accessories I'm going to want, if any. Now, it took me actually 11 years to get this bike to where I wanted to do a total restoration. Well, what I don't have in this collection of bikes is a brand new bike that pretty much is stock, maybe except for that fender. There's a couple of things on that MT-09 that I think have to go right away. The fender happens to be one of them. A lot of things, and I've seen a lot of cool little windscreens that cover up the spot up here. That might be optional, I don't know. And one of the things I'm going to try to show on that set of videos, and I'm going to start with MT-01, because we're pretty much done with this cycle of videos for this bike, except for the steel brake lines. And I thought, I have not been able to find them in gold at a reasonable price, so that may be a winter project. But anyway, there's a couple of things, and I thought would be really appropriate in the upcoming videos when we start the MT-01 set. And while the bike is under warranty, of course, what I want to try to do is keep it relatively stock, so I can do what amounts to be a real review after it's broken in and Luciano gets to do a little semi-track day down the highway, and I get to see how it's going to handle and perform. But basically, I want to make at the end of the break-in period, a dedicated video of what I like and what I don't like. So that's one thing to do. But my biggest concern about buying a bike, now when we went to Motorcycle Mall, you don't see it on the video, but I sat on a whole lot of the other bikes, the Kawasaki's and the Hondas and whatever, and not even close. The MT-09 for me, and I'm about 5'11" and about 185 pounds, 187 if I eat pizza, it just fits me. The bars, the foot pegs, the seat fit me perfectly. That was not true with the retro bike that Luciano liked. But of course, he's a little bit taller than I am, and maybe one gefilte fish heavier. I don't know. And that's why when you pick out a bike, you got to go to places like Motorcycle Mall at his dealer in Flemington, because you got to be careful you don't buy a bike that feels good in the showroom, and 2 minutes later your back hurts. And some bikes like the R1, you can move the foot pegs up and down. You can get rear sets for it. If the clip-ons are too low, you can get risers, or like in my case, you can put any assortment of handlebars on. Relatively easy anyway. I've got a whole closet full of handlebars that I went through the cycle, putting low bars, rental bars, high bars, and finally deciding on what really worked for my body, that I could go for a ride and not come back and have to go to the chiropractor. Now, I also have really, really high hopes. The really high hopes that I have is that I'll have the willpower to keep this bike, the new MT-09. It's a brand new bike, and for the warranty period, keep it really stock. So if there is some problem, I need warranty work, they're not going to say, oh, you painted the wheels gold. Oh, you're not under warranty anymore, or something like that. And you know the bike companies do that. So that's always issue one. I want to have at least a warranty period where the bike is relatively stock. But that doesn't mean I can't make a few modifications. Now, I made the fender eliminator on the R1, I made the fender eliminator on the FZR, and I modified the one on the 650, so it just didn't look as hideous as it does. And this one, it's probably the first thing when you see an MT-09 in the showroom, you go, ah, what's that fender thing? And I know there's a reason for it, but I'd prefer not to have it on my bike. That would be my first job. Now, another thing, as soon as I physically take possession of the bike, I know I'm going to have to put that wire in for the radar detector, and I may or may not make a dedicated radar detector for that bike where everything's hidden up under the nose of the bike. I don't know yet, but I know that fender eliminator. But every time I look at a picture of it, I think, how quick? I don't think that's going to make it through the warranty period. So if anybody out there in my circle of friends finds some cool accessories for MT-09s that might be appropriate, they know my riding style, I'm certainly open to all suggestions. But I'm not gonna go crazy with the bike. I'm certainly not gonna do one of these 500-hour makeovers. I'd like the bike to be stock for that whole warranty period, or from 3 feet away be looking stock. And I'm sure in the end we'll be making some carbon fiber parts. I may even make the carbon fiber windshields. But here's the thing. One of the things you can do when you get a brand new bike, and I've already done it to the R1, is you can at least polish up. The factory paint is good, but you can make it even better, and I'll try to show my little method of doing that. And you have to be real careful, because modern bikes, and I'm sure this MT-09 is one of them, they don't have the same amount of clear that you would have if you custom paint the bike yourself. So you've got to be real careful with the flits and with the polish and whatever. So that'll be fun to see. And I'm also going to see if I can at least, which I did already when these wheels were stock, is just polish them. So that and of course the exhaust system, polish it. Because what it'll be, I'll have a stock bike that hopefully will look just a little nicer than one that's been left out in the rain for a year. So I got to load the car up, go out and get gas, and I'll show some of the devastation that's within half a mile of my house here from the storm. And we are extremely lucky. I was hoping we would not have any major damage. Well, we years ago got rid of the last tree on our property, and our neighbor took Treezilla down, and I think that saved our property. He got a good investment on that tree removal. And Karen's garden and vegetable garden had a minimum. We lost a couple of tomato plants, fell over, but that was it. but other people did not fare as well. So we're backing out of my driveway on the way to the gas station, and this whole thing, I know Luciano had a lot of stuff to deal with, but we have been relatively lucky. But wait till you see this. I wanted to do this without a camera cut. Here's our property, where our property ends. Our neighbor who has a newborn baby there, and they are, if you can believe what's down that street. I'm not sure you can see it, but there's a big tree going across the street, and that's within walking distance of our house. We have 3 of them like that. The other street, if I went in the other direction, would be exactly the same. So they left us only 1 street to get out of town. And this is 2 blocks from the house, and they got the wires down, and I don't know what they're doing, but there's a tree ready to come down right there. It's half down on the wires. So if you try to go down a block, this is the block going the other way. Road closed. It's unbelievable. I had no idea until I went out this morning to see how much devastation they had. Wow. So this morning, they were working on that one. That's 2 blocks from my house. It almost took that church out. That would have been terrible. And Rutherford is known as the town of trees. Well, maybe it should be known as the town of tree damage. Now, this is Stacy and Rob's house right here, and this is the pile we worked on last night. We took care of that pile. That's their house there. But pretty much everybody on this block has the same thing. And there's one that's really bad down here. There's actually some giant stuff. But we're all within 5-6 blocks of my house. Here you can even get out. Oh my God. Now this is one of our neighbors here that had a real problem with what they have to deal with there. That's a real problem. They're not going to do that with a rake and a spoon, that's for sure. Now here's a street I don't think we can even get down. There's so much crap in the road and stuff still up by the trees. Just a bottomless pit. Unbelievable. Now I know this car is going to make it through, but he's not going to. Let's see. This one is down for the count. Wow. Holy mackerel. Look at the size of that one over there. Holy. This one's down for the count. Looks like this house had a really tough time here. Oh my God. And they never even predicted this was going to be a big storm. This happened the day Luciano and I went out to Motorcycle Mall looking at motorcycles. Oh God. Now look at this one over here. That's amazing. Now that one fell on a house. That one took out the front of the house. And over here you can actually see it right from the wires are down and they're still hanging. Well, maybe they're only cable TV wires. I don't know, but that's some mean stuff going on over there. And that's about how much fun you can have. Yeah, I'm all done. I see the kids are entertained by the tree. Oh, they overtook a part of that's on the front porch of his house. Woo! And here's the worst thing, all the wires down and you don't know who's going to put that wire in their mouth. In this day and age, there's an awful lot of, especially young people, that aren't that brilliant. So sometimes when you're out and you realize how blessed you are, that our damage was minimum, kids' damage minimum, you realize we have been blessed. And it was really important we have that gas, because if we needed to, we have a generator, of course, but we haven't had to use it yet. Luciano has, but we've been luckier. So that's just a little bit about what's been going on in Rutherford. I thought I'd share that. I know the people who follow my channel and enjoy watching our adventures with motorcycles and family and whatever it is that in the end of this it would attract you to this channel. I don't know. And it's really a special thing for me when I can share the good parts of my life. And the last couple days with this cleanup hasn't really been the best couple days, but it looks like we're digging out little by little. I try to send out a video hopefully every day when things are going right, Sometime we miss a day or a weekend or whatever. I have a feeling we might miss some days because some of our neighbors, not as fortunate as us, do need help with the cleanup. Anyway, I want to this is a special day. I want to thank all the healthcare workers. I want to thank these guys climbing poles and chopping trees, and all the people that have got us through this year of 2020 has been Beirut. It's been crazy, but I think we're all going to survive. And I think by sharing a video, you can kind of see how some people have it a little bit tougher than you, and you appreciate what you have. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Share it with your friends. I enjoy making them and sharing them. I enjoy the whole experience of life. That I think if you were alone on a desert island, it wouldn't be anywhere as much fun as watching windy videos. And thanks for watching.